Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rohan Menon, representing PL Capital Markets Private Limited, book running lead manager to the issue. We welcome you all today to the Brokers Analyst Meet hosted by Rajshree PolyPack Ltd for its upcoming SME IPO. I would now like to introduce you to the members of the dais. We have with us Mr. Dara Kalyaniwala, Head of Investment Banking, PL Capital Markets. Mr. Ram Thad, Chairman and Managing Director, Rajshree PolyPack. Mr. Naresh Thad, Joint Managing Director, Rajshree PolyPack. We also have Mr. Praveen Bhatia, Nominee Director representing the foreign shareholder Biodegradable Packaging AG of Switzerland. Mr. Rajesh Murarka, Independent Director on the board of Rajshree PolyPack, also amongst us. I now invite Mr. Dara Kalyaniwala to share his thoughts about the company and the promoters.
Thank you, Ron. Friends, Rajshree PolyPack is a company that I had not heard of or met till about 18 to 20 months back. The first time I heard about Rajshree PolyPack was when I met Mr. Ram Swarupji, promoter. First impression I got was of a great sense of comfort with the promoter, because I found he was a very level-headed, grounded person, not talking big, not flying kites with me and what the projections will be and things like that. He knows his business, he knows his customers, he knows his employees very well. Gives a lot of comfort to us that we are sitting with promoters who know their business very well, who know their financials very well, who know their input-output ratios very well. So get a lot of comfort from that. I then made a visit to the Daman plants, and I was very pleasantly surprised, because though a small company in terms of turnover, here was a company which was making use of latest technology, which had very good plant and machinery, very good systems, very good employees. Employees appeared to be very dedicated and well-trained, very clean premises. Products were excellent, which were being produced and printed. So very pleasantly surprised at looking at the three plants. Next, I met the nominee directors of Biodegradable Packaging. Mr. Bhatia was with us, and Alan Bursey, the Switzerland-based person who had come down for the board meeting, and Ram Swarupji was kind enough to invite me for the board meeting, and I met them there. And I realized that Rajshree is very fortunate to have two excellent printing technology professionals on the board. The insights that these professionals bring to the company cannot be measured in terms of rupee value or euro value. It's far greater than that. And these are the professionals who were contributing also to the new thinking that the company will have in the future. So it was a real pleasure and an honor when Rajshree, a company that by then I had recognized as a very forward-looking and a good company, which appointed PL Capital as the book running lead manager for its SME IPO. And it is with this pride today that I can welcome you all to this gathering and say thank you for coming and joining us. Rajshree is one of the leaders in manufacturing of rigid plastic sheets and customized thermoform products. Some of them we have displayed over here because it has over 100 of such products. I can't cut all of them. I can't ask the company to bring all the products, but some of them are here for you to just take a look at what the product is. These products are used by a diversified industry use. Companies from the dairy, confectionery, beverages, QSRs, FMCG groups are its customers. Lots of its customers are MNCs. And we are all familiar with the stickiness of MNCs regarding quality, regarding timely delivery, regarding employing proper people, the type of audits that they do before they give long-term orders. So it brings a lot of comfort to merchant bankers when we come across clients like this. And yes, it has a good number of MNC clients on its board. It has 3 manufacturing facilities at Daman, where it makes 100 products, 100 plus types of products. Rajshree today intends to raise about 36 crore, which is not for repayment of debt, which is not for repayment of short-term loans to promoters or something which some of the companies do. This fund that we are raising will go into creating a new manufacturing operation similar to what it is doing today, which will be plant 4 at Daman. Why has this need arise? Because this need is there because the company is today operating at 88 and 90% of capacity utilization. So when new orders are likely to come, or when a new product line has to be introduced, it requires more machines, more capacity. That is why there is a need for a 4th plant. To give you a brief background in terms of numbers, Rajshree has a top line of about 112 crores in the financial year 2018, and its PAT was 9.31 crores, ending with earnings per share of 11.7 rupees. You'll see on the issue price band that we have given of 119 to 121 that even at the higher end of the price band, the issue is priced at about 11 times PE, which we all in the broking community will know that it's a fantastic offer coming out. 11 times for a company whose promoters are very conscious of growth, whose promoters have invested from start, which has a foreign entity which holds 27% stake, which is Wi-Fi Polytype, and which continues to hold that stake. Even post-IPO, it will hold the stake. I asked them for an offer for sale and they said, no, we'd like to hold the stake even post-listing. Post-listing, they'll come to 19.82% stake, which is substantial by any standards. For such a company which also has been consciously reducing its debt-equity ratio, which was 1.27 times till about 4 years back, has consciously been brought down, and today the debt-equity stands at 0.44. For such a wonderful company, I am happy to say that we are delighted to be part of the issue management team. In fact, we are the issue management team, together with Prabhudas Lada Private Limited, who is the market maker for the company and who will be investing 5% stake in the company at the issue price. With these words, I now request Ram Swarup ji to please address the gathering. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Para. Good evening, friends. I welcome you all to this broker conference for the SME IPO of Rajshree PolyPack. Rajshree PolyPack is engaged into manufacturing of primary food packaging material, which can be categorized into semi-rigid and rigid packaging format. Packaging, as we all know, today is a vital communicator between the product and the consumer. Apart from the functional properties which it has to perform to protect the food, aroma, and keep it hygienic and safe, at the same time it also has to ensure the safe transportation of the food from the processing industry or to the farm to the end user. So, in today's environment, we would say food and packaging are same part of the coin, and both has to be properly designed so that a consumer can have a happy experience. India being the largest milk producing country and a vast agricultural base, food processing has to grow in India, and we at Rajshree had this vision. And with this vision in mind, Rajshree was formed in the year 2003 as a partnership firm, and it started its first production in the year 2004. Continuing this journey over a period of 15 years, we now have 3 manufacturing units at Daman with total manufacturing capacity in extrusion of 10,200 metric ton and in thermoforming 4,300 metric ton. Apart from that, we have series of printing machines and labeling machines to decorate these products. We at Rajshree has always believed that technology upgradation is the mantra of the success. And
We did an analysis and found that the technology what was available in India in 2007 and what was being used by developed countries, there was a vast difference. But with that was a cost. So it was a difficult decision for us at that point of time. But we took that call with the investment of Polytype. We invested in that technology. And we could see the results in last 4 years that it has done wonders for the company. So taking this journey forward, we want to further grow our capacity and provide more functional and value-added products to the packaging industry. And that's why we want to come up with new facilities. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Dara Kalyaniwala to give a presentation of the company. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Ram sir. Friends, there's a short film on the company which is about 4.5 minutes, which will give you a very good idea of what Rajshree does, why we are talking of technology and a neat company.
It plays a major role in giving a distinctive look and preserving the flavors, hygiene of the products. Rajshree PolyPack manufactures rigid plastic sheets and thermoform packaging products in various shapes and sizes. It has a diversified range of products that cater to the dairy products, confectioneries, food, beverages, FMCG, QSR and the retail sector. Rajshree PolyPack's product range includes rigid sheets for form-filled sealed packaging, cups of various shapes and sizes for cheese, yogurt and curd, ice cream and desserts, packaging of juice and beverages, trays and containers for food and confectionaries, bowls, lids and hinged containers. With more than a decade of experience in operating in the plastic packaging products industry, Rajshree PolyPack is one of the leaders in manufacturing of rigid plastic sheets and thermoform packaging products. Rajshree PolyPack's aim is to continue to build on their strengths in the field of rigid and semi-rigid plastic sheets and plastic packaging products. Rajshree also manufactures customized thermoform packaging products tailored to the client's requirements. They have a wide range of sizes and designs to meet the customer's needs. The company's incessant commitment to design and development continues to add new products to its existing product line. Rajshree PolyPack has an annual capacity of over 10,000 metric tons and more than 100 products. One of its manufacturing facilities, set up in 2013 at Daman, has been equipped with a state-of-the-art machinery. Rajshree PolyPack Ltd has a consistent track record of organic growth and is one of the leaders in manufacturing of rigid plastic sheets and thermoform packaging products. It has a strong customer relationship with customers, an experienced management team, and an efficient infrastructure and resources management with strict quality control standards. The operations out of Daman keeps the production costs down as the cost of power is relatively low in Daman. The products and business of Rajshree PolyPack is relatively insulated against seasonality. The strategies of the company include focusing on operational efficiencies to improve returns, continually co-develop products with their key customers, focus on products and material that have a higher margin, and expand their customer base to the US and UK and further increase their footprint in the Middle East. For fiscals 2015, 2016, 2017 and 2018, the revenue from operations was rupees 6,484.37 lakhs, rupees 9,517.77 lakhs, rupees 9,533.36 lakhs, and rupees 11,197.69 lakhs respectively, representing a CAGR of 19.97% for the last 4 fiscals. For fiscals 2015, 2016, 2017 and 2018, the net profit was rupees 72.06 lakhs, rupees 783.24 lakhs, rupees 886.85 lakhs and rupees 931.09 lakhs respectively, representing a CAGR of 134.66% for the last 4 fiscals. In order to expand its operations, the company is proposing an initial public offer. The proceeds of the IPO will be to finance setting up of another factory unit at Daman and for general corporate purposes. Rajshree PolyPack Ltd. Distinctive Packaging Solutions. Book
bid
Running
issue
Lead
opens on
Manager,
September.
PL Capital Markets Private Limited.
Can I have the lights, please? The documents, I don't have to read it, please. About the company, as Rajshree had mentioned, it was formed as a partnership firm in 2003, reconstituted in September 2011, whereafter it was converted into private limited company in 2011. So between 2003 and 2011, it was functioning as a partnership firm. It's very important to look at it because I'll just come to that point immediately now. It got converted into a public limited company in August last year. So registered office and corporate offices in Thane, manufacturing facilities in Daman. Promoters Mr. Ram Swaroop Naresh ji and Sajan Kumar, Sajan Rungta, HUF, between them they hold 65.81% stake of the pre-IPO company, and they will hold nearly 49% stake post-IPO. YFAG holds nearly 27% stake, and it has 2 nominee directors on the boards. The company has done a pre-IPO placement in early August, I think August 6th, it did a pre-IPO placement in which Sunil Singhania's Abacus Growth Fund had invested 1%, so 1.05% stake is held by Abacus Growth Fund. The business, we have just shown the brief film about the company. I won't bore you more with it. The products are used in FMCG, food, beverages, QSR, confectionaries. These are packaging products made on rigid plastic sheets and thermoform packaging products. Over 100 types of products are there. Main raw materials used are HIPS, which is high impact polystyrene, PET, which is polyethylene terephthalate, and PP, which is polypropylene. So these are the 3 major raw materials the company uses. Its process uses extrusion, thermoforming, printing, and sleeving. It has a sizable bank of molds and dies. These are very expensive items. It has a bank of these which acts as an entry barrier for anybody wanting to enter this industry. So these molds and dies are of different shapes and sizes used for a number of these products that it manufactures. The extrusion capacity is 10,200 metric tons. It's utilized about 88-89%. Thermoforming is 4,320 metric tons. Again utilized about 87-88%. Its printing is 5,148 lakh pieces per annum, and sleeving is 1,275 lakh pieces per annum. So sizable capacity between the 3 plants that it has set up at Daman. But what I'm really delighted about in the whole company right from start is that this is one company which has taken full benefit of the new technology, which has understood that without technology, the products will not be as sound as what it should be to the international standards. Even when it was a partnership firm, right from 2004, it has been amongst the first to adopt new technology for its field. In 2004, Rajshree adopted technology of 6-color printing in dry offset, probably the first time in India. In 2009, it adopted fully automated thermoforming machines with German technology. 2010, it adopted fully automated 6-color printing machine, which is different from what it did in 2004. In 2004 was not the fully automated. It took them 6 years to grow to get a fully automated machine because it's very expensive. So in 2010, they bought and adopted fully automated 6-color printing machine in dry offset with Swiss technology. 2011, they adopted alternate decoration technology of shrink sleeving on containers. And a very positive development happened that when a lot of other beverage manufacturers realized that here was a company which was giving out excellent quality products and which is at the forefront of know-how technology adoption in India. One of the prominent beverage manufacturers requested Rajshree to co-develop its product together with Rajshree. So which is a very big feather in the cap for Rajshree, which happened in 2011. In 2012, Rajshree adopted a fully automated 8-color printing machine in dry offset with Swiss technology in the Indian market. So this is why I was saying that from a partnership firm to a private limited, even during that journey, when as a partnership firm it's fully owned by promoters, they are putting their skin in the game. Even at that point they were using latest technology products, latest technology machines, which are very expensive. So even when it became a private limited company with limited liabilities, it continued with that. In 2012, it adopted a fully automated 8-color printing machine. In 2013, again it co-developed packaging for one of the major confectionery brands and also adopted high-tech extrusion machines for plastic rigid sheets, again with Italian technology. 2014, it adopted 3-station fully automated vacuum forming machine with German technology for punnets, trays, hinged containers, lids, etc. And in 16, it adopted fully automated sleeving machine with indigenous technology. It also introduced a polypropylene barrier packaging for enhanced shelf life of food product. Food product is very important. You'll see the use by date is, earlier it used to be 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months. The longer the shelf life, the packaging has to be that much more superior. Otherwise, what you're going to eat will turn bad. So it's important, and that's where they have, again in 2016, they have introduced a polypropylene barrier packaging for enhanced shelf life for these products. This is what really excited us at PL, that here was a company which is in packaging but which is using technology at such an advanced stage. And it is now doing something very different. It has created a biodegradable packaging product also, which again is the forefront. It's some of the first companies to do it. This is a biodegradable packaging product. If you see this glass, it looks like the everyday glass in which you may be served tea, coffee at a QSR, but this is biodegradable. This is what we are saying. This is what the company is saying. So to prove it, and before it can market it, the company has sent it to CIPET in May 2018 for testing. Once CIPET approves it, which takes approximately 6 months, this will go for an environmental clearance. Once that happens in about 2 to 3 weeks thereafter, this product will hit the market. This will be a huge advantage. Just now QSR is finding very difficult, if you go to a cafe coffee day or any of these outlets, it's very difficult. They started experimenting with different type of packaging products to serve you coffee. Now they can continue doing it in this, which will be wonderful with their package, with their own logos, etc. This is some time away, but it's declared in the RHP, so I can talk about it. So this technology is what is very important for this company. So it has adopted technology. It is doing the utmost to see that there is a lot of environment protection. So it's not worried about any ban that is coming, because that ban is not applicable to primary packaging products in which this company is there. Ban is on thailis, etc., the plastic bags. We are not into that segment of the product at all. Having said that, the company realizes that adoption of technology and adoption of latest technology in its field of packaging is most important. And as somebody has said, good, bad or indifferent, if you are not going to adopt and invest in latest technology, you are going to be left behind. And Rajshree is not one of them to be left behind. It's right there at the forefront of technology. Its organization structure, to share very briefly, board of the company, 3 members of the board are right here. 4 members of the board, sorry, I stand corrected. 4 members of the board are right here. Ram Swarupji, Nareshji, Mr. Bhatia, and Rajeshji. We also have the CFO of the company, Mr. Sunil Sharma, with us. He's been with the company for many years. We have Mitali Shah, the company secretary, with us. We have the head of marketing, Manoj Mistry, who's also with us today. The head of marketing for cooperative dairies, Mr. Mod Narayan Jha, is not here. And general manager of factory unit, Yogesh Sahane, is at the factory. Some of you all who may have had the privilege to visit the factory would have met them there. The in charge of the factory unit 1 and factory unit 3 report directly to Nareshji. So you'll see that the board is not that the top management is not dependent only on the 2 brothers. There is depth in the organization structure, which comes out of getting professionals into the group. Even though it's a 112 crore company, top line company, it has got professionals with a lot of powers given to them. Very briefly about industry, there is a care report, segments of which we have introduced in the RHP. The market seems to be very, very wide as per care, and we are all familiar with how large this rigid packaging and thermoform products market is growing. Its diversified use in QSR food products is growing day by day, and that is what the care report also says. The consumption of thermoformed plastics in Europe, Middle East and Africa is expected to reach 1.5 million tons by 2020, so 5% compounded annual growth rate. But the Indian packaging industry witnessed a compounded annual growth rate of approximately 16% over 2010 to 15, and now we expect it to grow at 18%. Sorry. The rigid plastic packaging industry is also very large at 535 billion rupees, and the Indian market is expected to grow around 25% during the next 5 years, this is where a lot of our growth is going to come from. So it's a very large industry, also growing in a good manner. Very briefly about the financial highlights, the company's turnover for 18 was 112 crores approximately, growing at a CAGR of 19.9% over the last 4 years. Its EBITDA at 20 crores for 2018 on a turnover of 112 crores amounts to about 18.8%. Its PAT is 931 crores for 2018. PAT has grown at a compounded annual growth rate of 134%, whereas EBITDA has grown at 33%. So growing company in growth in technology, growth in financials, but its debt equity has been coming down thankfully. So its debt equity, which started off with 1.27 times in 2015 FY, is now down to 0.44, which again is a very positive thing, because the company's earnings have gone to repay whatever small debt the company has taken, and the retained earnings have improved the net worth, and hence the debt equity is coming down. These are the financials. These P&L and balance sheet has also been reproduced in the RHP. The cost of materials is about 64 crores on a turnover of 112 odd crores. Employee benefit was 8.8 crores. EBITDA was 20 crores, as I explained earlier. Profit after tax 9.31 crores. These are some good numbers for the company, which reflect that even its balance sheet is healthy. On a total net worth of nearly 47 crores, its long-term borrowing is barely 13.8 crores and some deferred tax liabilities of 4.3 crores. Its inventory is 11 crores, which on a turnover of 112 crores reflects that inventory days are very less. Trade receivables at 20 crores on a turnover of 112 crores again reflects that the debtors are not lingering on, the payments happen largely in time. There are some current assets for the company, so money used, total money raised by the company in all form, balance sheet size 85.65 crores, out of which more than 50% is used only in fixed asset creation and balances in working capital. So it's a wonderful combination to have for any financial manager. We're now coming out with an IPO to set up Unit 4 at Daman to manufacture the same type of products, and if some money is left over, we'll use it for general corporate purpose. Even when the IPO is made, as I mentioned, it's not for debt repayment, it's not to iron out past sins of the company, but it's largely to invest in the new plant that it is creating. Even in the plant, there is plant and machinery which is taking up nearly 27 crores, out of which there is one single item, a Reifenhauser machine, which is being purchased from Germany for 18 crores. So again, there is investment in technology, a continuous and conscious decision taken by the board that we have to be at the forefront of technology, which is also going to happen in the fourth unit. Its land is already in possession, the building and civil works are there, some amount of expense will be there. This new facility will be ready for production in October 2019 as projections go, and I have no doubt in my mind that looking at how Rajshree has met its projections over the last 1 year of our discussions, I have no doubt to see that the top management will ensure that October 19 will definitely see, or even before that, will definitely see the starting up of this new unit. We do believe that we don't have a peer, this every company making an IPO would like to say, and well, we do find that there is one company which is in some segments similar to us. They have different process that's there, but its customers could be in the similar category for a good 50% of its turnover. That company happens to be PolyPack Packaging, and hence we as the book running lead managers felt it better to show this company in the peer entity. There is nobody else who's close to it. Huhtamaki, PPL, etc. are very, very large companies. It would be foolish of me to compare somebody who has a market cap of 2,800 crores for a potential market cap of 140, 150 crores. These are not comparable companies. But a comparable company will be a PolyPack Packaging, which is what we have shown in the document. PolyPack has a return on net worth of 16%. Rajshree has a return on net worth of 19.82%. PolyPack's market price reflects that it's being quoted at a price earning of about 29 and odd times. Rajshree's issue price at 121 reflects it will be quoted, it will be issued at about 11 times. Even if somebody says that I want to look at the post-issue capital and the pre-issue profit. Pre-issue profit is 9.4 crores, post-issue capital is 11.2 crores. Even on that comparison, which is not like to like, even on that comparison it is barely 15 times. So it's a wonderfully priced IPO. We have done a pre-IPO placement, so some of these figures, even though we have done a pre-IPO placement, these figures of EPS, etc. will not take a big hit because the company will do fairly well by then. Its price, we have already discussed. The anchor portion is opening on 7th. Today we are talking on 4th, so it opens 3 days later. The issue opens on September 10th. It will close on September 12th, and we'll get listed and traded on 24th September. With these words, I request you to go market and multiply your wealth and that of your investors. Go market the IPO, invest, invest, invest. Somebody said entertainment, entertainment, entertainment. I would say invest, invest, invest over here. Thank you very much, everybody. So can I request Mr. Bhatia to share a few words on why PolyPack decided to invest in the company? So please.
Good evening, friends. As Mr. Dara was saying that we met Mr. Rajshree around
18 months, 20 months back.
back. I met him in 2010.
Okay. And you didn't find him a different person then? Same grounded,
Same.
level-headed,
Yeah.
no kite flying.
No kite flying.
Yeah.
You know, when we were talking about the first machine, I still remember when it was a partnership company. And that is the time when we seen that this man has a big vision. We want to grow with the technology because it's very difficult for a partnership company to invest in such an expensive machine. You know, whereas in comparison, the local machines are available. And no, he took a decision to invest in that machine and go with the technology which is already available in Europe, which was already available in the developed countries. So that was the vision he had. And with all the best wishes of the suppliers, customers, everybody, grown here. And in 2011, our board, which sits in Switzerland, with the company which I represent here, the company is around 100 million capital base, around 700 crores and 200 million asset base, based in Switzerland, and we have offices all over the world. And we are the number one in our own field, you know, in the field of printing and technology. We are the number one in the world. We decided to put the money in this company because this company is growing well, and we can become a partner of that growth. And over the year, my colleague Alan and me, we keep on coming for a board meeting, and wonderful board meetings where we have a lot of very good discussion, how the market is growing, how the things are going, how the world market is growing, so that he can follow that. And that is where the numbers which is shown by Mr. Dara could be achievable. And we were there at having a 27%, and they had offered us that we can exit, but we said no, we don't want to exit. We want to remain a partner in the growth. Even a lot of new investors are coming, new people are joining, but we are still there so that we can achieve a new heights of this company. So I found it's very interesting. So that's all. If any more questions can be asked, you can ask the questions. We are over here.
Yes.
And we can reply the question happily.
We are open
Thank
for
you.
questions, please. Thank you, Mr. Bhatia.
My question is, in the presentation you mentioned mind-boggling sales figures and profit figures, but the last 3 years have been very flat for the company. There's absolutely hardly any growth either in the revenues or even in the profits. How do you explain
Revenues
it?
have grown from 95 to 112 crores last year.
So if you see the gross operations, it's 106 crores to 115 crores. So it is not, it's a decent growth, I'm not saying it's not, but it's not the triple digit that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So how do you explain this last 3 years of flattish growth, and what's the reason for that?
Basically, we were reaching to the peak of the capacity utilization, and as you can see, we did an investment in 2013, and from 14-15 to 17-18, that was the gradual increase in the utilization of the capacity. And as Mr. Dara mentioned, we were already utilizing 85% of the capacity, and what we could achieve is maximum 90-92%. So that is what we could achieve from the investment what we have done in 2013-14, and we cannot go beyond that, and hence there is a reason for expansion into the renewable energy.
Sir, how much is this expansion in terms of metric tons? Because right now you have 10,000 odd in extrusion. So after this expansion, which will, let's say, get over by October 2019, how much will be the capacity? How much will it increase?
4,500 metric ton in extrusion, and 2,500 metric ton in thermoform.
Okay. So from 4,000 thermoform it becomes 6,000 odd. Sir, one last question I have. So this is regarding your receivables. Even though you had flat revenues, last year your receivables doubled from 12 odd crores to around 20 odd crores. Any particular reason this increase in receivables?
The sales had gone up in that particular quarter, so that's the reason why we see that.
But it's a very big jump. So what is your typical time in which you recover?
45 to 60 days.
45 to 60.
If you see the turnover at that ratio, 45 to 60 days in that particular period. And on that we have to add the GST also. So generally for receivables we have GST also, which is 18%. But the top line what we show is basically the net of.
Net of. Thank you, sir.
Sure, please.
What led to the growth in 2015-16 from 65 crores to 95 odd crores? So there was some addition.
Capacity what we had installed in 14-15, so we had a gradual ramp up or utilization of the efficiencies from 14-15 to 15-16 and 16-17.
So that led to increase in margins also?
Yes,
or,
of course. Of course.
Okay. The second question is, sir, what component of our sales is derived from tendering business and other than tendering business? So I want to first understand, is there a tendering process which is involved in getting the business for our clients, or how does that work?
Tendering is only with the cooperative dairies. With the multinationals, it is no tendering, but they do the audit of our facility. And once the facility is audited, then only they approve you as your suppliers.
Okay. So the other thing was top 3 customers almost form 41% of our revenues for the last 3 years. So if you could just throw light on these customers, I mean, what sector do they form part of, or what do we supply them?
They are all into food categories, as I said, confectionery, beverages, but probably we could not reveal the name due to regulatory compliances.
Also, one question I could understand that out of 36 crores, we are using 18 odd crores to import a particular special kind of machinery. So if you could throw some light on what that machinery is, or what special are we going to do other than the industry?
Basically, it's an extrusion machine which is going to have a special features to increase the shelf life of the food. And this is in rigid space. This is going to be the first of its kind of technology in the Indian market.
And any thoughts on movement of packaging moving from rigid to flexible? Because we hear a lot that a lot of packaging sector per se is moving now from rigid packaging to flexible packaging. So you would throw any lights on that per se?
Flexible is already there, and flexible is a big industry as compared to rigid. So in fact, we would say things are moving from flexible to rigid.
Because you can't start putting dahi in flexible, it's very difficult. So,
Tetra Pak is an expensive packaging, and it requires specific machinery to pack in Tetra Pak form of packaging. Vis-a-vis, in this form of packaging, the filling machines are not those expensive. So everybody cannot afford the Tetra Pak form of packaging.
The cost difference. What is the cost difference between the Tetra Pak packing and
2 to 2.5x.
as far as the what do you call it?
Basic difference, as I said, is the machines. The Tetra Pak filling lines are very expensive. That capital investment is a big hindrance, I would say, in that form of packaging.
What percentage of your turnover comes from the seasonality product?
There is hardly any seasonality. I would say only in the month of December and January there is a little bit of seasonality effect.
Does it enhance the production?
No, there is drop in that period, and then from March to June we have additional peak demand. So there it gets offset.
And as far as your turnover is concerned, what is the export percentage?
Around 10%.
Around 10%. With the new machinery, is it going to grow up?
Yes, definitely we
Without
will.
giving the figure?
Yeah, we will definitely be growing that particular figure, because in neighboring countries also we are looking to export with this new technological products.
Any new company coming out with the similar this thing venturing into, because there is always a barrier as far as the entry point is concerned, as you explained. Is it something which is coming up?
Not heard of as yet.
Thank you.
Non-compete agreement with certain companies. Can you give us the background and what does this mean?
See, basically, we started with non-branded products first in initial years to gain the experience in this industry. And in 2003, then Rajshree came up with the application for packaged food. So these were the companies which were in existence during that time, and one of them is still in operation. So we then have signed a non-compete agreement with these companies so that they don't enter into the space where Rajshree is operating.
Can you enter into their space, or
No,
it is
that is a very low margin product unit, and it is found more suitable because Rajshree is more into value added products. So instead of going back down the lane of going into low value added products, there's no chance of Rajshree entering that business.
So is there this companies were related to your company, or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, we started with this in 2098, like as I said, to gain the experience, we started with those kind of products in the initial years.
It's not operational, is it? No, it's just a company which has been created where, because of regulatory requirements of the local state, Rajshree invested a very small amount. We felt it better to disclose it in the document rather than somebody doing a Google search and saying, "Arey, ye 5 rupee ka company nahi bataya." So we have shown it. It's not in existence. There is nothing over there. So it's just that, sometime in the future, if there is an opportunity and the company feels like it, we're just putting a toenail over there, nothing more. Yes, please.
You mentioned in your presentation that you have a mold bank for a lot of products.
Yeah.
So can you just throw some light who pays for this mold in the initial times? It is owned by you or the company, by the MNC guy, and how is it written off? Just some color on that.
Like the investment can be both ways. We can invest if there are certain mother molds. At times customer do invest into the mold. So it is both ways. Like, it is not that we only do it or customer only do it. If it's a tailor-made product specifically for the customer, then customer has to invest.
And this new facility of yours, you're planning to invest about 36 crores, right? If I just do some reverse calculation, probably you are expanding by about 50%. So maybe maximum sales what you can achieve
Less than that.
little less. So
Less than that.
with better efficiencies maybe. So I'm just trying to understand the return on capital employed structure here. In terms of probably you can do a top line of about 60 crores with your.
Can't hazard a guess. I would suggest you look at the asset turnover ratio for the company presently, and my humble opinion says that the asset turnover ratio will be slightly better in the new.
Okay, I'll rephrase my question. So in terms of any investment, what would be your payback period criteria?
I would hazard a guess and say about 3.5 to 4 years. 4 years should be on the higher side. Off the record.
Thank you.
Any other questions, please? Sure.
One question.
Sure.
In the presentation, the EBITDA margin went down by 4%. And since raw materials are such a large part of our cost, how are you dependent on the crude price in terms of raw materials? How does that impact us?
Can you take?
Yeah. Of course, the raw material prices are impacted with the crude, but we have a variable price mechanism structure in place with our customers. So if it goes up, we get increment. If it goes down, it goes down.
What is the frequency of this?
With some customer it is monthly, with some customers it is quarterly.
Then why did your EBITDA margins drop by 4% in the last?
Because with customers, there is quarterly effect. I will see the impact maybe in the next quarter. So if you see the oil prices have been going up in last 8 months continuously. So when there is a upward trajectory, so the next quarter will get affected unless it is stable. So if it's on a top profile, the next quarter will always see a bit of a drop. So on the average of the 12 months, it will not see any impact.
Now, but this variable is with all your customers? Or?
80 to 85% of our customers have this.
And so one question, this is company is profitable, growing nicely, very good staff, many of them here. If your company had to make losses, what will have to go wrong in the next 1 year? So you know what is the risk to look out for. What can go wrong for this company to make losses?
As of now, in the first 6 months.
Like the promoter now.
Okay.
We don't utilize our capacities. We lose our customers if we don't produce the right thing. That's the only reason you could see. If you close your eyes and don't do your work properly, any business will suffer.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any example where any of your big customer has been lost because of change of his product shape? If a company who is there for is stops producing what you are supplying to it, then what happens? Just say one of the companies has tomorrow to.
I really don't remember. There may be some change in the numbers, but there has been no real big customer lost in 8 to 10 years. That number we will check and let you know. I don't
See, my hard guess is that with an EBITDA of 20% or 18 to 20%, I think at these level of turnovers, unless the turnover suddenly slips to maybe 40 crores or 50 crores, that's a different thing. Otherwise, at these levels of turnovers, the EBITDA margin of 18% gives me great comfort that should not happen.
We are struggling to meet the requirements, so we have never worked on that break-even numbers. So that's the reason why. So we are always short of capacity.
Pressure for the customer. Recently, he has taken the machinery. He says, I need a machine to by tomorrow. Because there was a lot of pressure from his customer. And he's taken the machine by ear so that he can deliver to the customer. So the customer should remain with him for the service. That kind of demands are there. That's why the break-even point and other things is not being considered, because the demands are tremendous. And the people are, the other competitors are not looking for, because ultimately the vision is very important. So that vision is the risk.
Any other questions? Rajshree, may I kindly request you to